3 topics today. Obviously, the particular unit 2 will be finished. So what exactly we are going to do is we will start the concept called characteristics of successful salesman. Now, please write it down. There are 3 characteristics. I will discuss in detail. Please write it down at first. There are 3 characteristics. Write it down. The topic of discussion should be specific characteristics of a successful salesman. Please write it down. The first characteristics is called people skill. First characteristics, write it down. People skill. Under people skill, please write it down. The 3 sub points. A salesman has the ability to motivate, communicate, and coordinate effectively. This is the first sub point under people skill. Second sub point under people skill, please write it down. Counseling and coaching skill should be relevant. Counseling and coaching skill should be relevant for who? For a salesman. Third point, sub point under people skill. A salesman should have team building ability. A salesman should have team building ability. People skill would be finished. Under it, there are 3 sub points. Now comes to the second point. It's called managerial skill. Under it, please write it down. Under managerial skill, please write it down. A salesman should plan, organize, direct, and control the total activities of sales activities. Now comes to the third point. It's called technical skill. Under technical skill, there are 4 sub points. First one, salesman should have knowledge about the product and service that they are selling. Number 1 point. Second, a salesman should have minimum IT or information technology skill. A salesman should have minimum information technology skill. Number 3, most important, a salesman should have the negotiation skill. A proper win-to-win or win-win negotiation skill need to be incorporated by a salesman. Without it, it is impossible for him to sell a product, a single product in the market. And the last one, salesman should have a problem solving skill. So these are the points under characteristics of a successful salesman. Now we try to understand a little bit elaboratively what exactly these skills are. These skills means basically. First one, when we talks about the people skill, by saying the people skill, we basically mean to say how a salesman motivate people. Look, when we are saying, I hope for HR, for OB classes, we are talking about much more about motivation. So newly now, there is no scope of talking motivation separately. I hope you guys understand what exactly the factors of motivation or what exactly a motivation means. But a salesman should motivate the people nearer to him. Now, when we are talking about motivation, the motivation may come through monetary, may comes through non-monetary way. But a salesman need to know how they lead, what exactly they should communicate to their peers, and that helps that peer group to work for them or to give their 100% for them. And without team, it is impossible to complete any sales activities, because now sales is a group activity. So unless and until you are not building a good team, or you are not helping people, or you are not in touch with the people, you can't share the joys and sorrows of your team members. Team members never be motivated to do a certain kind of job. So a sales manager or a proper salesman need to know these skills, or need to have these skills, and as well as their counseling and coaching. Look, sometimes what we find, the people with whom a sales manager or a particular salesman work with, some days they are good in work, some days they are bad in works, but when the bad or bad patch comes, it is not always hire and fire policy. When you are a human being, you should have the human touches. You should carefully handle people, because people can do wonders. If you take care of the people, if you motivate them through the monetary, through the non-monetary way, maybe they will comes out their bad patch and make work wonders for you. This is lots of case study regarding this, where some days, because of the motivation, the people from the backbenchers come forward and do miracle for the organization. So basically, people skill means a sales manager should have the motivation skill. They should understand which way, which factors are needed to motivate people. And look, every people does not have the same factors to motivate themselves. When I'm working with 5 people, I should understand that what are the motivating factor for 5 different people. Maybe for me, money is a motivational factor. For X, Y, or Y, one gentleman or a lady, non-monetary recognition, approval may be the motivational factor. So a sales manager or a sales boss understand which are the motivational factor for whom. And on the basis of that, you should preach your people, you should help your people to grow. Now, second, it comes managerial skill, because when you are covering lots of territory, when you are talking with prospect, when you convert prospect into customers, this particular managerial skills plays a very important role, because at the day's end you have to plan your sales activities, you have to organize your sales activities, you should direct people what exactly roles they are playing in the market, or how you are controlling them. This all plays an important role. That's why salesman or a sales manager should have a clear idea about their planning, their organizing, their directing and controlling way as far as their own people is concerned. Now comes to the technical skill. When you are dealing with a certain product, you need to understand the complexities, the varieties, the price, the competitor's price. What are the competitors available in the market? Product or service related, every information you as a salesman, that should be in your grip. Otherwise, how can you preach the people? And unless and until you are not confident about your product, your service, you can't preach people. You can't say that, look, this product is very good, you can take it, can help your problem, unless and until you are not believing what exactly you are saying. That is why the selling skill, the negotiation skill, or you can say IT skills के सबसे पहले the thing that will come is that whether you have the knowledge of the product or not. Second way it comes, and now look, this all reporting way, sales control, even informations, even the CRM, sales CRM systems are implemented on information technology platform. That's why every salesman has a minimum knowledge about, or the basic knowledge about the information services or information technology. Otherwise, it is impossible for them to work on the market. Now, third biggest aspect of technical skills comes under the negotiation skill. Negotiation skills basically means getting the more benefit by selling a particular product and services, but It is not only always benefit for a salesman. A salesman also understand the win-win ratio should be there. Each and every purchase or selling a customer should have this mental soothing that customer should believe at least by the way of transaction they also get motivated. This is a feel good factor within a customer, always in a negotiation way. If a negotiation process, if customer believe that somehow they are cheated or somehow they are losing in a negotiation with the particular salesman with whom he purchases, it has a long term effect. It has a great long term effect. If a particular customer thinks always he is losing in the negotiation war, so kya hoga? In the next time, normally he is not going to the salesman or he is making a brand switch. So this is why in a negotiation skill, always it is important to understand that at the day's end, it should be a win-win ratio. A particular customer should have the mentality that after every purchase, he wants something. This is the biggest truth of a negotiation skill in a market. And again, when you are talking about negotiation skill, few things you should remember. The three things mainly. In a negotiation skill, at least two parties should be present, we all know. In a second point, while we are making negotiation, we are talking about the different features or the products or the USP or unique selling proposition of a product or point of difference of the product. And that should be explicitly talked with the customer and give a reason why you are asking certain kind of price for a certain product. And at the day's end, it should be a value price as far as it had been a value proposition, or it should be a win-win proposition for a salesman as well as for the customer. It increases the long-term bond with the customer, nothing else. Now, next comes the problem-solving skill. Look, problem solving skill we will do a case study on a problem solving skill when our classes would be open. Problem solving skills would be when we discuss. There are 5 steps. There are 5 steps associated with the problem solving skills. Please write it down. The steps of problem solving. The first step of problem solving. First step, understand the problem at first. But if you are not understanding the problem, if you are not demarcating the problem, if you are not segregated the problem, or if you are not breaking down the problem, how can you understand what will be the solution? So at first, when we are talking about problem solving skills or the steps of problem solving process, the first step would be understand the problem or segregate the problem or demarcating the problem. Number 2, find out the solution or find out the solutions of each and every sub-problems. First, you try to understand the problem. Second, you try to understand the solution or solutions of each and every problem that you are segregating. Now, the third point, when you have the problem as well as the prospective solution or solutions, the next process would be which solution should be taken and which solution should be rejecting for a certain problem. Now, this prioritization of the solution will be depend on few factors like cost, like time. That is with third steps or third process of problem solving. Prioritize the solution for solving a particular problem. Fourth, you should be ready with plan B. If plan A fails, when you prioritize, maybe solution X1 would have more priority, or you will assign more priority than the solution X2. Then it does not mean as a solution maker you always deals with only one solution. You also ready with plan B. If for any reason plan A fails, you will be ready with plan B. And the last problem, you have to control, you have to understand whether the solution that you implement is working as per the schedule that you plan. दैट मीन्स आप जब सोल्यूशन इंप्लीमेंट किया जा रहा है, यू शुड अंडरस्टैंड जो सोल्यूशन आप इंप्लीमेंट किए हो वो सोल्यूशन से आपको डिजायर्ड रिजल्ट मिल रहा है या नहीं. If you will find the solution is not giving you the desired outcome, then again re-evaluate the solution. Understood? So these are the steps of solution problem solving. So what exactly we will discuss? Specific characteristics of a successful salesman. उसमें हम क्या discuss किए? There are 3 characteristics mainly: people skill, managing skill, and technical skill. Under people skill, we are talking about 3 aspects. We talk about एक मिनट. We talk about in a people skill, team building, we talk about counseling, we talk about motivating. Managing skill में we have talked about planning, organizing, directing, controlling. Technical skill में we talk about negotiation, IT skill, problem solving, as well as selling skill or knowledge about the product. Now comes to the, and this is the last topic for today's discussion. It is all about the sales manager function, or what are the responsibilities or functions of a sales manager. As far as the responsibilities of a sales manager or function of a sales manager is concerned, we have says there are mainly 2 functions of a sales manager. One kind of the first function of a sales manager, they have concern for the sales. The first responsibility of a sales manager, the first responsibility of a sales manager or function of a sales manager, that they concern about the sales, number 1. And number 2, they should have concern for the customers also. If 5 years ago we are making this presentation, so we are 10 to 15 years ago of presentation in a selling, we are not talking about much more customers. We are always much more concerned about the sales, what is the sales growth figure or the sales volume. But now when there is a toughest competition going on, or now when there is a too much people are working on the same chunk of market share, we are very concerned about the customer, or we are talking about now the solution oriented selling. Now what exactly we have says? We have says sales manager responsibility are mainly 2. One is concern for the sales, another concern for the customer. When the first responsibility of a sales manager is to, they should pay concern, or they should pay attention as far as the responsibilities is concerned. They should have a sales oriented perspective, and second, they should have the perspective as far as the customers is concerned, right? Now, when we are talking about concern for sales and concern for customer, we will understand sales manager has a broadly 5 types of responsibilities on the basis of these 2 particular perimeters. Which perimeter? One perimeter for concern for sale and one perimeter is concern for customer. Some sales manager has the characteristics, or some salesman has the functionalities or characteristics or responsibility of take it or leave it way. This sales manager believe their responsibility is to present the product in front of the customer. And now rest will be depend on the customer whether they are leaving or they are selecting the product. That means such kind of salesman believes, if I present the product in front of the customer, if I will preach the product's benefits, if I will make the product available in front of the customer, now it is up to the customer whether they will select it or leave it. This is the first type or the first type of sales manager that we have seen. They think their responsibility or their function is to just present the product in front of the customer. And rest, whether the product would be selected or rejected, is totally in the hand of a customer. Now, second type of salesman ऐसा है who are people oriented or customer oriented. They believe in or their responsibility is to provide the solution to the customer. They provide the solution to the customer. They help. They are talking about point of difference. They are talking about USPs of the product or a service. They make people understand why they are people going to purchase the product. If the particular customer or a prospect have any kind of queries, this kind of salesman help them to address it. Such kind of salesman believe or sales manager believe their responsibility is to make people educated, is to make people motivate. That is the second type of characteristics or second kind of responsibilities of a sales manager. It's called people oriented. The first type of responsibility is called leave it or take it. Second, it's people oriented. Third, push the product oriented. Third, push the product oriented means such kind of salesmen are not much concerned about what exactly a people is asking from them. Their main concern is to pushing the product. Whatever product that is in their hand, they are trying to selling it only to increase the sales figure. They are not much concerned about whether the people is actually asking for this product or not, whether they have the need for the product or not. They simply believe this is the product that I have, I only want to sell it. That is exactly their responsibility or characteristics all about. Such kind of sales manager, we call them push the product oriented